Nobody would have thought that the Atlanta Falcons, out of all the different coaches they interviewed, and they interviewed Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh went in for 2 interviews. Bill Belichick for 2 interviews. Raheem Morris for 2 interviews. And out of all 3 guys, and those were the 3 big picks because the rest of them were practically new coaches, new guys, they're coordinators, they're on their way of getting their first coaching job. Nobody would have thought out of all 3 of those guys, they were going to go with Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris is not a bad coordinator. He's one of the better defensive coordinators in the league. If you look what he did for the Rams for the last couple of years, he won a Super Bowl as the defensive coordinator for the Rams. He's been there. He understands how to win. He didn't succeed over there with the Buccaneers, maybe because of the talent around him. Now, everybody deserves a second chance. Raheem Morris hasn't been a coach in almost 4 years. He's getting his second try. If he fails in Atlanta, he might never get a coaching job again. Look at Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan had a job with the Jets for 5 years. He was an accomplished head coach and defensive coordinator. He goes to the Jets. He goes to 2 back-to-back AFC title games, and then the Jets completely fall apart. Maybe because of Geno Smith, maybe because the team just didn't like Geno Smith, and the defense was starting to get old, and they started to move on with certain players. Atlanta is a young, talented team. They have a lot of good, young, talented players at their positions. Kyle Pitts, I have no idea in the last 2 years why he hasn't been used as much as he should have been. Drake London is a great young wide receiver if he could stay healthy. They have one of the best young running backs in all of the NFL in Bijan Robinson. They have talent there. Their offensive line needs to be cleaned up a little bit. It's not what it used to be when they went to the Super Bowl, when they had Matty Ice as their quarterback. Their defense has got better over the last year, adding some safety help and corner help in the draft. Still need to clean up that defense. Maybe that's why they decided to bring in Raheem Morris, because Bill Belichick is more like a drill sergeant. And these younger players might not be driven to play for a guy like Bill Belichick. He puts a lot of pressure on his players, but he's very good in the locker room. He works very well with the players. But maybe Arthur Blank just didn't really like Bill Belichick for this position. Now, you wonder what happened to the Patriots the last couple of years. Maybe it was the Mac Jones thing. They don't have Tom Brady there anymore, where you can hide deficiencies in the defense. You can hide deficiencies in the offensive play. Or maybe just Bill Belichick just lost his voice in the locker room. When you go for interviews and you haven't been for an interview for 20-something years, you're going in there cold. Everybody knows what you are. Everybody knows what you've done in the NFL. 6-time Super Bowl champion. You're arguably one of the greatest coaches to ever coach in the NFL. Everybody knows you're trying to break Don Schuler's win record. That's what Bill Belichick wants to stay as a head coach in the NFL. Or he'd probably be a GM building teams. And he did a very good job for many, many years. What we do know about Bill Belichick is he has an understanding of what success is. Not only did he win 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots, he won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. He's won 8 rings. What has Raheem Morris done in this league besides winning 1 ring with the Rams?
1-10-6 season as a head coach.
He's done nothing. This is a long shot here. If this fails for the Atlanta Falcons, this could set the Atlanta Falcons back for at least 5 to 10 years. Look what the Jets are dealing with right now. Since Rex Ryan, how many coaches have the Jets gone through since Rex Ryan? 2 back-to-back AFC title games. The Jets have not been to the playoffs since Rex Ryan. The last time the Jets were in the playoffs was in 2011. It is now 2024. Going on 14 years that the Jets have not been in the playoffs. And the Jets have had, since Rex Ryan, 4 coaches. It hasn't worked. This thought that the Atlanta Falcons made the right choice with Raheem Morris, I want to know what sold Raheem Morris over Bill Belichick. I have seen Bill Belichick do more with less than less with more. Even with all the craziness that was going on in New England this year, they were ranked pretty high with their defense. Bill Belichick, he finds secondary help in the draft. Always does. And that's been a huge problem for the Atlanta Falcons over the last couple of years. They haven't had a good secondary since they went to the Super Bowl. Yep. You had a chance to get one of the greatest coaches of all time, who's on his way to being the greatest coach of all time. Wouldn't you want to see Bill Belichick break the wins record for your organization? Maybe Bill Belichick wanted more control. Maybe Bill Belichick wanted to be the GM/coach of the team. And that's what Arthur Blank didn't want. Was that part of the deal, is firing the GM? There was something after the second interview that they didn't like about Bill Belichick. It's a shame, because I would have loved to see Bill Belichick in Atlanta.